to kick it off, I want to share with you the biggest win that we've had at Rebellious Business this last week. And that is that Caroline, our incredible spotlight speaker that's joining us today for a powerful session to help you turn your social media posts into client magnetizing awesomeness, is officially on board at Rebellious Business as our very own Rebellious content coach. Caroline's going to be working with our clients inside the Rebellious Business Bootcamp to help them absolutely smash their messaging and skyrocket their copywriting skills. And so today I've asked Caroline to come along and join us so that we can also give a little bit of this rebellious love to you guys. I met Caroline in Arizona in 2017, where we literally fell in love like a couple of puppies from a Disney movie. And I've watched her transformational journey over the last 3 years, and I'm just so unbelievably proud of her. And not in a kind of like, "aw" kind of way, but in a like, "oh my God, this woman is a freaking badass" kind of way. Caroline set up her marketing business in 2016 and has become utterly obsessed with communication and human psychology. She's amazing with all things communication. She helped Dan Holloway found Bamboo Bar, which you heard about last week. She's worked with multi-seven-figure businesses to inject more personality into their branding. She's written 2 books, one totally by accident over a few days. She's a born writer, an incredible speaker, a performer, a presenter, and I think you'll agree with me that her energy is infectious. Caroline, our fantastic Rebellious content coach, the floor is yours, my love. You are muted. Let me unmute you. Okay, now you're unmuted. Now
I said that was quite an introduction, and even though I heard it yesterday, it still made me smile. And I didn't help Dan found Bamboo Bar. I'm a co-founder of Bamboo Bar, and if he says otherwise, I'll poke him in the nose. Yeah. Okay. So, hi everyone. I am Caroline, and yeah. So, did write a book by accident over a few days, but actually that kind of links into most of the conversation that I'm going to have today about copywriting, but it's going to be in relationship to your social media posts. I've forgotten what that I just said was about that with what did I just talk about that with? Oh God, I've ruined it already. There was a point at the beginning of the sentence that was going to tie in really nicely, which was probably to do with the fact that you need to have a point to all the content you create. And I had an example, and now it's gone, and I lost it from the beginning of the sentence to the end of it. But anyway, so I've been trying to create a presentation that really not just like helps you guys like the technical and the strategy side of things, but also practices what I'm preaching, because essentially any form of communication is a sales pitch, and it should all follow a sort of structure anyway. And the most important thing to improve your whatever result or metric you're trying to get is to lead with the purpose that that you've created for the thing. So it needs to have like a much bigger reason behind, this is my my graphic design business, or this is my Cotswolds like forum that allows businesses. It's got to be like, who are you connecting with and why are you connecting with them? And so I've spent a lot of time, this is quite useful to me as well, because I've spent a lot of time recently working out what exactly my message is, why it's important. I've gone through so many different sort of like different business opportunities, but haven't really ever felt very, very connected to the message. I've just always kind of delivered messages pretty well, but just not really understood why. So the first step to really, really improving your social media posts, or any post, is to start with the purpose. So to give you some context, I've got a very big purpose in everything that I'm going to try and communicate forever, not just in my social media posts, not just in like my business ideas or whatever. And that is that you need to do what's important. That is my just life message for now. I don't know if it's going to change. I don't know how that's going to go, but it's something that, like, when I go, yeah, that works for me, I like that, I want to encourage people to do what's important. I really like the speaker. Well, he's actually a psychiatrist called Jordan Peterson. He's pretty controversial, but he one of his rules for life is do what's important, not what's expedient. So that for me is something like I really, really care about. And this can be linked into so many different ideas as well. Like this can be, say, do what's important to you, which is where there's the value to set up your own online business. Let's just say if you're promoting SFM, or if you're like bring it down to a business level. So for me, like I've always created content around how to do copywriting or how to communicate. So that can now be tagged onto do what's important, and copywriting and becoming a good copywriter is a way to express that message powerfully. So it's important for you to be good at copywriting because it enables you to express that message, like your important message, powerfully. So anything you do, it can come from this place of whatever it is that's important to you in that message. And so on a more a level down, you've just got to think more about what's the business's purpose, like what is it trying to achieve, and obviously then you go to what the purpose of the post is and what's that trying to achieve, and that you can start getting a bit more technical. So starting off, I want to talk about the difference between content in organic posting and the content in advertising as well. If you're building up your organic Facebook with or your organic audience, then the posts need to they from the position of creating impact, and ultimately you want to create sales, sort of as a metric you want to measure. In order to do that, you have to think about how do I word this? There's a long-term process in organic, and paid is also long as well, but the process of organic is cheaper. So you might want to try that. Actually, out of interest, is everyone doing organic social posts here? Like, can I get a little sort of like view on what everyone's Annette? Is it Annette? Annette is doing a bit of both. I got Samita. Hi, Samita. Nicola. So these are organic. Everyone's thumbs up for organic. Okay, so that kind of grounds this into what I want to talk about. Okay, so for your organic posts, firstly, work really hard on your message, and that also ties into your customer avatar and all that, which I know Dan sort of covered a little bit last week, but it's so important to know who your customer avatar is, and to also know who you are as an avatar as well, because we embody so many different people in our lives. We have professional us, we have like angry us, we have indignant us, we have kind us. So you have to think about your own avatar in relationship to the avatar you're talking to as well, because they'll have their own dynamic relationship, and whether you can spend time in that persona for a while as well, because with organic you need to be there for a while. So I'm going to talk to you strategically the process that it takes to engage, pique curiosity, and then sell, which it's just not a fast process. So that's why the starting with your message and what's important to you and what resonates with you, and creating a message that you can live with, and people that resonate with that who you can spend time with, is important. So starting off, is anyone here like at the beginning stages of building their organic post or their organic social media? Okay, so we've got some. Okay, and is there anyone who's who's got their audience and is not getting conversions? Yeah. So we've got some people who haven't got their audience and are trying to build their audience, and some people who have got an audience but aren't getting conversions. So I will trying to accommodate for both of those. So if you are building your audience, there's one metric that you need to measure your posts by, and that's quality. that is the only metric available to you at the beginning. And if you've already got your audience, the benefit of starting by measuring your post against quality means that you're in with a good practice by the time you've got that audience, and you know that this audience is qualified and ready for your marketing material. I know a lot of you are sort of familiar with SFM. So in example, I am as well. So in examples, I'm going to sort of talk about SFM as to give context anyway.
To interrupt, actually, some people here won't know what SFM is.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So the SFM is basically an online marketing academy that me and Caroline are part of, and they have an affiliate program where you can learn how to market whilst promoting their affiliate program. So there are a few people on this call that have been learning marketing through doing that. So yeah, that SFM stands for the 6-Figure Mentors, and it just teaches you how to start your own online business.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So essentially, if you were creating your affiliate business, promoting other businesses, products and services, myself and Cordelia met through this online community, and Danny's in there, and but Hogarth, where's Hoagie Hogarth's gone? There he is. There's a few of us that have met in this community, and we were promoting this product as a way to get started with the online business skills, which was very useful. So the purpose of that is to teach entrepreneurs who wanted to transition into online businesses the skills they needed to become an online business owner. So that would be a context. Spent far more time on that subject than I was planning to. We'll go back to building organic market audience. So to start with, you have to think about you're not trying to teach anyone anything. You are trying to demonstrate that you think the same as them, and that means that when they read the post, you're not trying to go like, here, let me provide you new information so that I can tell you something you don't know, because that's where you're in the space of convincing. You don't want to convince anyone. Your job as a marketer, as a salesperson, as an advertiser, as a business owner is not to convince anyone. Your job is to get people on board who are there already. You can do all the convincing and pressuring and it does a bit of this, but it's just not going to be a fun experience for you. Light has just started blinding me through the window. I wasn't preparing for that. So you want to think about how are you going to create a social media post that tells someone what they already know. Okay, so let's use this coronavirus situation as an example, and that is actually something that's a real hot topic that it's impacted everyone in the entire world, so it's totally relevant. If you think about what your customer avatar is already thinking about in regards to coronavirus and your business, so let's say Samita graphic design, is that right? I think I remember that. You put that in there as well, right? So now you go, okay, so for instance, if you're tapping it onto my message, that do what's important. If someone, I don't know who your avatar is, but let's say they've already got a business, it's very small, it's running, and they need a graphics designer. And they've kind of always known they need a graphics designer. Everyone knows they need better graphics. Everyone knows they need the skills to learn how to measure YouTube metrics. Everyone knows what they already need. They just don't know why that's important. So you just are there to remind them, yeah, I know you know you need this. You know that you need this. So here's why it's now more important than ever. And that taps onto my message. This is why it's important. So coming up with your own reason to sort of, well, you could just use that for now anyway. So with someone, let's say with graphic design or with SFM or whatever, they already know that they need something to change. They've already thought about it. So you're not saying to them, you're not giving them all the amazing things. If you get an online business, you'll be able to, travel to each room of your house at the moment and work from each one of them. You're not going to be saying that. You're going to be saying oh yeah, what's going on right now in the world? That's such a more authentic conversation. Is anyone else worried about where their next paycheck's coming from? Is anyone else worried about, also for Samita, you might say like now is now is the time more than ever to make those improvements on your business that you've been thinking about improving. You know that the creative element of your business is worth working on. You know that. And if someone doesn't know that, you don't want to work with them anyway. Lots of people don't know that. Lots of people think it's rubbish. Like lots of people are like, creative, not necessary. I'm just going to like hammer away at sales. I'm going to hammer away at whatever. So lots of people don't know that. There are lots of people who really, really prioritize creative and graphics design, and they're just not there yet because they haven't had a good enough reason to like is to add a business or add a part into your business. It takes time away from you, so you don't prioritize that because you're like, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. You stop doing things tomorrow when they start becoming important to you today. So the only thing you need to do is remind them what they want to do tomorrow is important today. So it's not about teaching them something new. It's not about convincing them of something different. It's not about like changing someone's mind. It's about speaking to them where they're at. And when that's what everyone says, that's what everyone means when they say talk to them where they're at, because no one changes their minds. So when you speak to them where they're at, they also trust you. So this is why with the organic marketing to start with as well, it's not necessarily about selling. Like you can potentially sell, but the agenda of a post should just specifically be, in other words, to say to someone, we're the same. I know exactly what you're thinking. Or if you're an authority, go, I know what you're thinking. I've been there. I get it. Here's some free resources, or here's some information that could support you during this time. I don't want money. Don't want money. No, I'm blind to money. Just have all this good stuff because I really feel your pain. Like that kind of sort of situation. And what happens then is, firstly, there's an element of organic marketing as well, where you don't even need to reach the person who is your customer avatar, but someone will see your post and go, oh, Bill, he'll like this. So that's how you can expand your reach, just by adding value, because people know what their friends need as well. So that's another sort of tactical strategy type thing anyway about expanding your reach. Anyway, so in this stage, you're just, all you want to do is relationship build. And you're creating almost like and this is a long-term thing. This isn't going to happen overnight. You're creating a package that represents you understanding them. That's all you're doing. You're just creating posts and files and value and things to say, this is, I get you. That's it. Nothing else. Because once they go, oh, she gets me. She don't want anything from me. Actually, this person's kind of cool. They're just a nice person, just adding value to the world. Actually, that can be a bit suspicious of people like that. So you can say, like, my business is to make money from this, but I empathize with your position, and this is what I'm giving you. So that's the first step, is that you have to relationship build. I did actually draw a diagram, but that'll come later anyway. So then if you do that well, firstly, you're going to increase your engagement, you're going to increase your reach. And by doing that, the only thing you can measure that post against is whether it connects to that audience. So once you've written this post and you go, okay, so this post tells this person that I get what they're going through. I get that with coronavirus, they're worried about the longevity of their business. They're worried about whether they're going to get more customers or not. They also believe that if they finally improved the graphic design element of this and this and this and made them stop looking like a billboard ad from the 90s, they would probably gain better reputation. Like, I get that that's what they're thinking. I get that's what they want. Like, they know. You write this post, you go, yeah, okay, that conveys that. All you can do is measure against whether you have shared with the person that you understand their problems. And you're going to post it and you're going to get no response. That's how it works, okay? I'm sorry, that's how it works. You're going to get nothing from it. And that's why you do not measure. Sabita's like, I know. See, look at me. I'm talking to you. Look, I am talking to you. I'm telling you, this is how I'm connecting with you. I haven't offered you any services of mine yet. I haven't given you any CTA yet. I'm just going, I get you. This is what's going to happen. This is the shit part of everything. Here. See, so this is one of the things I was trying to do with this webinar, is to go, I practice what I preach. So I don't really have a sales pitch at the end, but imagine I did have a sales pitch at the end of this. All I'm doing is saying, I get you. I'm going to teach you how to make loads of money from your social media posts in a £500 coaching program once I've told you all of this stuff that you already know. To me, is like hand on her face. That to me tells me like, yeah, that hit home. So that's what you want to do. You just want to hit home and tell them exactly what they already know. And that means you tell them their problems. So when you create this post, you post it out, you get no response. The reason why you measure against quality is because then you've got a win. Okay, that doesn't matter, because when someone sees this in a month's time, 6 months' time, whatever, it's going to resonate. So then it's like you create this graph. The way it goes is like slow, more customers, boom. So you have to break through this point of like, that's when the customers start coming, and then it's an exponential growth. If you sustain the same message, a good diligent posting schedule, if you maintain it and it's quality and it's relevant, you will break through, because you'll learn so much more on the way as well, and you'll learn more about reach, and you'll learn more about engagement, and you'll learn more about whatever. Okay, so you're going to post it, you're going to get no response, you're going to get nothing, and you're just going to be like, okay, but it said the right thing. And next one, you're going to say something in a different way. The next one, you're going to say something in a different way. And you are, as well, at this point, going to be like testing things against each other. But that's essentially what strategy you want to use when you're building up your organic content. Is not caring about the metrics to start with. You're just caring about the quality and whether or not it connects with your audience. Cordelia, how long have I got? Because we want to prioritize a Q&A as well.
We've got loads of time, don't worry.
Okay. I mean, that is actually harder.
Okay.
Okay.
It's 11 now, and we have until 12:30, but we usually wrap up around 12-ish.
Well, I love the sound of my voice, so I'll just keep going. Okay.
Just quickly, whilst we did a little pause there, how many people brought some content with them for Caroline to have a look at today? Did anybody bring any posts? Just good to get an idea.
I think that's a no.
Okay, cool. No worries.
But that's all right. We're going to go through tactics afterwards as well. Oh, Ray Jamil, I love this online thing. I can go bring some. It's like, okay, good job we're not in an actual meeting room. Yeah, bring it along, Ray. Okay, so then there's another element as well, which I think, again, I'm going to use myself as an example, because I'm brilliant at this. It's once you've kind of got like, okay, so this is the quality I'm giving. So for ways to provide quality, to reinforce what your client is already, or customer avatar is already feeling. Statistics, okay? Like, okay, so did you know that even though everyone's like in furlough, so this is quite a compelling argument, even though everyone's in furlough at the moment, did you know that every week 10% of businesses fire someone on furlough? I made that statistic up, just so we know, like, just so you know, don't freak out. But that would be because at the moment people have like got past the crazy upset, like, whoa, what the fuck is going on in the world, and now they're in like this false sense of security mode. You got to go, right, well, what you thought before is still relevant, like that worry you felt, like, because shit might just keep getting worse, and even if it doesn't get worse, this is something you should prioritize anyway. And statistics or current affairs or stories are really relevant, and they just back that stuff up. So you're not, so in that sense, when I said earlier you're not teaching them something new, you're giving them evidence to back up what they already believe. So it is teaching them like a new statistic or whatever, but it's not, you're not convincing someone that coronavirus. So for instance, like I had a friend, we were in like 2 weeks of lockdown, and I had a friend, she received an email from her boss saying something to do with, you know, your 12 weeks on lockdown or whatever. And she was like, what? I thought they were joking. Like, oh, this will blow over by like May. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And like a part of me was going, right, I need to educate her. I need to tell her, like, no, this could be a really long process. But then I was like, shape my audience. I'm not in the business of convincing. I'm in the business of connecting with people who believe the same things as me. I could be totally delusional. Imagine if I convince her to like do something, and then all of a sudden this does all blow over by May, and she's like, well, you fucked my life up. I'm like, yeah, my bad. So you just responsible. Just speak to the people who you connect with. Totally off the point. My next point was, next, once you've got this value adding quality piece or whatever, and the first one should take you a long time. I'll share a blog post at some point in the Rebellious Business Network, which took me a month to write. It's 4,000 words. And that blog post made me realize what exactly I care about, what exactly I am trying to sell, what exactly is my message, where do I get my information from? I wrote 4,000 word blog post, and it's brilliant, I love, but that post won't take me a month. Like, next I'm going to replicate that in so many different ways. I'll tell the same thing again and again in different ways, and that will be so much faster, because now every time I hear a story that backs up the last post, I'm like, oh, okay, great, because the story's already there. Then once the story's cultivated, it's fine. And then you can start bombarding, and that's when you start building up your algorithms on Facebook or whatever platform it is. Just keep bombarding, and once you've done the hard work on the messaging, the ability to do that comes a lot quicker, a lot more intuitive, and it can just go out, and the quality will be easier to achieve in a small amount of time. So then the next thing you want to work on is your delivery. So I'm someone, I've always found it really easy to connect in a personable way. Like, I'm a people person. Like, I'm a golden retriever. I can make people happy. I have this sort of thing within me. Some people can't. Like, so for instance, the guy I really like, Jordan Peterson, he is so stern. He is so like authoritarian. He's not like, Facebook link. I've already got a follower. Check that out. So you've got to work out what your personality is and how you would like to deliver that. And then you tailor the language to inject a bit of humanity into it. So you've got your first post. So for instance, all this stuff that I gave you before, all of this like facts and figures, it's like, okay, so you need to do this, you need to do this. This is why you need to do this. Implementation. Okay, so once you put the post out, it's not going to get any followers. Not after that, I'm making jokes. I'm adding a bit of Caroline in there. I'm being a bit more humorous. That's my tone. That's my delivery. That's my energy. So don't worry if you haven't got it there first. The most important thing is the substance. It's like when you build a house, right? You build the foundations, you put what's it called? I don't know any of the things, but you put the things up. You don't decorate until the house is built, do you? So people get really caught up on decorating, and it's like, well, I'm just decorating a freestanding wall. Why? There's no point. It's not a priority. So you get your foundations in first, which is like the structure. This is what I'm telling you. Next, you decorate, and then you'll continue on improving your foundation building skills and your decorating skills the more you do it. And again, that's why it's really important, going back to it, to work on your message, because you've got to stay in this space for a long time. Okay. After that, right, so I'm gonna talk about like the flow of any post towards the end, because I've got some tactical stuff, and that's kind of its own it's like the practical element of post as well. So for instance, this webinar, I'm giving you reasons to get anxious. Like, your post should not make people feel comfortable. I'm telling you all this information that you've got to achieve. I'm saying, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. It's not making it, even though I'm confirming to you what you already know, I'm giving you more evidence to confirm to you, like, by the way, this is why this is really important. And then you're going to say, well, okay, so how do I actually achieve that? So once you've built, does that make sense? Is anyone else feeling that? It's like, okay, so she's given me all this information. This is great. It is kind of confirming what I already knew. There's a lot to it. There's important parts. There's important elements of communication. Okay, how do I do it? What do I do? What do I do with it? You know? And that part where that curiosity is peaked is where you're able to sell, because you're not even selling. If you create this sort of like all these bits of content that you're doing, if you just go like, here, look, you need to improve your graphics design stuff on your website. You need to do that. Okay, so you might you need to figure out a way to secure your income long term. This is why. They're going to be like, oh, wow. And especially if you're like, if you show that you're an authority in the area, like you're very well read on the area, it's a topic you're interested in, they're going to want to come to you for answers. So that that point when they're in a bit of a scramble, when they're like, well, okay, yeah, I already know all this. How? Give me the goods. How do I do it? That's when you go, well, this is what I do. You don't need to sell. Like everyone gets really caught up on these CTAs. But for me, it's like, I produce what you kind of do. It's like almost think of like a pressure, like a pressure tube balloon, something like that. If like you push it through so much, but like if you hold back on this, it's a call to action. Sorry, David. So it's if you would like to buy my product, click this link. So many people feel really uncomfortable about that because they feel like it's selling and they feel like it's pushy and it makes them look like they have no integrity. But the way I like to think about it, and this image I've got in my head is like this: if you like get a balloon and you squeeze the end of it, if that's where the call to action will be, and you just pump this bit full of what they need, that like the pressure will make, like it pushes towards it where like it just naturally, the thing goes through. Like you don't need to do anything. It just comes. Like the pressure forces the need for a call to action by applying so much value, so much. If you think of it, like we all know, as soon as you learn something new, it opens up 10 more things that you need to learn. Like you can never learn everything. We all know that. Like you learn one more thing and it reveals how much of an idiot you actually are. And then you learn more things and it reveals, oh, I'm an even bigger idiot than I was before. So it's kind of getting to that place where it's like this, like, oh, right, okay, I know all this stuff now, but you can't know everything. So you get them to that space where it's like, they've learnt new things and now they need to have that sort of pacified. So that's how you want to address the call to action. Anyway, so that's that was the point of that. Once you've done these value posts, keep doing them, and you'll be like, okay. And so, for instance, I'm going to grow my YouTube channel. That's my priority now, is to grow my YouTube channel. And I did a video yesterday, and I was like, as soon as I did it, I've got no metrics on it. I haven't posted it yet. I've just edited it. As soon as I finished it, I was like, I know how that can be better next time, because I didn't tell a proper story. So stories sell. Stories are really interesting to sell. Right? I didn't give any like real hard evidence. I didn't give any real hard facts. I just kind of shared an insight, and it was all right, but it wasn't anywhere near as good as it could be. But I'm still going to post it because you've got to keep going. You've got to keep doing these things like imperfect forward moving motion. So with each post, you'll become more educated on the last, and you measure it against quality, and you'll be able to get an insight for that once you know everyone who it is. So once you created this, I keep coming back to this subject. Once you created this sort of like, I don't know what it would be like, just a bundle of content that says the same thing again and again in different ways. If you've done a good enough job, what will happen is people will ask you questions. People will say like, well, how can I solve this? And the answer to that as well, which will come in the tactics part, isn't your business. You tell them how they solve it by presenting them more information on the solution of the problem, which means you then get to create. If you create that much interest, like how do I solve this problem, or what do I do? You then create content, again, free, no selling, saying, this is how you solve it. Here's some things that you can do to solve it. Here's some options. You can try this or this or this or this or this or this or this. Like, don't push it. Just say, like, because you know, once you've got the audience, like they know their problem, you've got enough of them. Now you provide content that solves their problem. It doesn't, the product is not the solution to their problem. The solution to the problem is a lot more psychological. So for instance, let's use SFM as an example. You create all this content to say, like, you're worried about your future security. There's a lot going on in the world. How are you going to look after your family if you lose your income? How are you, I don't know, like whatever problems come with, like, you know, your job security. The solution isn't an online business to that, or learning the skills to set up an online business. The solution is feeding their family. The solution is like bringing in another income stream. The solution is not the product. The solution is the opposite to what their real problem is. Their real problem is, I've got a lack of money. I've got a family to feed. That's the problem. And that's what you want to share them, how you solve it. Okay, so you can solve your problem where you're worried that you're going to lose your future income, like you've got your incomes destabilized in the future, by getting more incomes. That's the thing. That's one thing you could do. You could cut back on ordering food in. Like you can start cooking more at home, or you can downsize. Like you've got to give them solutions to the problem. I haven't got enough money, or I can't feed my family, or whatever it is that their problem is in their customer avatar world. Again, why it's so important to know exactly who you're talking to. And so then again, it shows like you're prepared to help them solve their problem without any agenda. You're just going, I've been there, I've created other income streams. Like that's a solution for you. You should go off and do it. Go create another income stream, which again opens up so many more parts in their brain. Like, how? So you kind of like keep giving them so much information without giving them everything, that they are interested in what more you've got to tell them. So it makes you so much more trustworthy than having one post which gets them from A. You can do that. That's a great advert as well, getting them from A to B. But if you're going for organic, you want to think of it as a timeline, like an advert, one end to the other. So then you would want to create those posts that say, this is the solution to your problem. Also, in the whole duration of this as well, you kind of want to be creating completely irrelevant posts. Not completely irrelevant, that's not true. But so for instance, I do lots of stories, which I tell little funny stories about, or I just say funny things about my day. Like I discovered how crinkle chips exist, like have come into existence, which I actually found this video from ages ago. I was making homemade chips or fries for the Americans, but the fat ones. And someone in my house nicked the sharp knife, like just whatever knife. So I cut it with a serrated bread knife, and it made crinkle fries. And I was like, yeah, it makes so much sense now. Someone just nicked their bloody chopping knife. And I just made a little post about that. So it makes me, like when I project that, it's got no sales. It's got no relevance to online business. It's got no relevance to copywriting. It's got no relevance to anything I do, but it demonstrates a bit of my character. It demonstrates my values. So I value humor. I value like quirky, funny things. I value home cooking. And then someone who is interested in, let's say I'm doing copywriting coaching. Someone who's interested in copywriting coaching, they know there's a shitload of coaches out there, and we all will be offering a pretty similar service. So then they'll be like, I'm following this person because she's giving me loads of value. She gives me so much value. And then they'll look at my social media stories or whatever, and they'll go, oh, I quite like her. Oh, I fucking hate this girl. I'm getting off this. Sod this. But hopefully, they'll be like, yeah, I really like her. Okay, I can see myself in her proximity. So you kind of like got this overarching big storyline of like, let's give you an easier target. Let's say 30 posts, okay? So you've got 30 posts of just presenting to them their problem. 30 posts, 10 posts have presented to them their problem, 10 posts have presented to them a solution that doesn't necessarily mean your business, but alludes to your business. And then you can have 10 posts of like, look, okay, you've seen all this crap. You've seen all this. You know the problem. Look, this is what I did. Okay? You don't have to do it. Just this is what I did. So again, it's not even a sale. It's like, this is what I do. This is what I recommend. There's no call to action. It's just, I recommend this. This is for me. You've built up all this value that they're like, cool. And then you have this little, like, I guess this character sort of thing underneath it, so personally, I like stories for that, because it's just easy, and it's just so, you don't need to plan anything. You just find something funny, you say something. You find something endearing, you say it. It doesn't need editing or whatever, so that they can get to know you as a character, because we connect to people by their values. So I like this Jordan Peterson guy. I used to really, really, really like Russell Brand. I still do really like Russell Brand, actually. But I like this Jordan Peterson guy because I really like his values. I remember watching him on this interview once, and I just felt like he had so much integrity. Like this woman was like really attacking him, like really like sort of drilling into him, and he just sat there cool as a cucumber, and was just like, he's so stern. He's someone I would not normally find myself resonating with, but I just loved his character. I loved the fact that he had so much integrity, didn't buckle under the pressure. It was like, that for me was someone I look up to, I cared about. So it's like, right, so you want to create this persona that has nothing to do with all the businesses, that just goes, this is who I am as a person, love me, that sort of thing, or respect me, or fancy me, think how hot, whatever it is that you're selling, I don't know, but you know, just create the value you want to spread. Again, see how much time you have to spend in this space. This is a lot of time you have to spend in this space. So then you have to think, right, do I care about what I'm saying? Does this matter? Do I like the people that this will approach? That's why I've kind of, for me, I've kind of stepped away more from like, oh, you need content coaching or doing that stuff, and going, okay, I'm going to go for bigger messages now. What's really important? Like, this is what's important to me, to share what's important. That is it. And then I'm going to see what happens with that. This is a brand new sort of experiment for me. So might fail miserably. You might just want to just not listen to anything I said, but you know, I sound like I make sense. So you know, it works well. Okay. So that's the sort of structure you want to have for your organic blah blah blah. That's the technical term. Okay, so next, it's what the next problem we were addressing was, oh, you've got the audience but you're not making sales, is that right?
Yeah.
Who we got nods for? Okay, so can I just get a bit of contextual awareness? Is this paid advertising? Is this like, can I get some ideas of like what you're actually doing so that I can apply the brilliance in my head to your specific problem? Free?
From what was said last week as well, when I asked this question, it's like posting a lot on Facebook, posting a lot on LinkedIn, but not getting much engagement and not getting many calls or clients from those posts, prospects from those posts.
So the engagement we've pretty much covered. What I just spoke to you about then is all about engagement, and like I said, you're gonna post and you're not gonna get any response.
And also, just to add to that as well, something really interesting I was just thinking as you were talking just now is that a lot of you guys on this call have come along because you've seen something I've posted on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, and 99% of you did not comment or do anything with those posts, but you've seen them and you've clicked on it and you've come through because it's something that's valuable for you guys, and you feel like, you know, it's something you're interested in. And it just, like, one thing is that just because as well that you don't get physical engagement of people commenting and stuff doesn't mean that people aren't watching. Mm-hmm. I've had clients that have come on board with me recently that have been following me on social media for 2 years and have sent me a message and said, I'm ready to start a business now, or whatever. And I've brought 2 new members into the SFM in the last month, not spending any money on paid advertising, but just because I'm constantly being seen online, consistently posting, and people are watching. And engagement isn't actually a true
representation
of who's actually seeing you, watching you, and listening. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Which again is why it's so important to stay in that space for a long time. But I also think Cordelia brings up a good point, is that she's also really refined her business and her purpose and her message, that like she's, you know, she's got all the substance to provide. She's got, because again, it's not just about like what you can provide someone, it's also about how you present it. It really is, and the message behind it. And Cordelia is such a great example of how to really harness the power of drum roll, sorry, I didn't mean to, I just had a pause, of organic content. Because, and also from doing it out of something she cares about, because she's created this whole network for no agenda to make money, for no agenda to get leads or sales or whatever. She just wanted to be in this space, and she had all this value to add. Unknowing to her, like that was step one of the process. Like a lot of the time you can just luck into this, which was great. I mean, we could all pray for that. But that's kind of why I've worked on my message so much, because I'm going, it doesn't, even if I don't make any money from what I'm saying, I'm just going to really enjoy being in that space. I'm going to really enjoy connecting with people who connect with that message, because, you know, I really want to be friends with people who like the stuff I like. That I'm very lucky, like Cordelia and me, we connected very quickly, and we were like, oh, okay, well, this is friendship for life. Great, because we had the same values. So even if I never made any money, even if I made no success, I'd just be so glad to have Cordelia in my life. And like Danny Ham, we met the other day. I'm like, oh, he's a great guy. I'm so lucky. I mean, he doesn't pay the bills, but you know, swings and roundabouts. It's still a pretty nice space to be in. But that's a good example of how you create the value first, and then what happens is naturally people want to work with you. Like, that's just what happens. And you also have to take into consideration as well, on average, you only get 1% conversion rate. So out of 100 people, only one of them will convert to a sale, and you still have to add all this free value to 99% of the people. If you're lucky, it's 2.5%, which is quite high. Let's go with 3. 3 is high.
That's email marketing, but on social media, you're talking a 0.5% conversion rate on social.
Yeah, let's just make it worse for them. Let's make it worse. You see how we could so easily like put in like, right, so now you have to pay me a lot of money to sort your business out. You kind of, it's just building up your problem even more. She's such a good wingman. See why I love her. You're lucky because, well, maybe you're not lucky. Maybe some of you are going to like bash down my door, say, please help me with my content. And I'm like, no, because I can't right now. It's not in my thing. But I don't have a call to action to sell services. I'm just at the moment cultivating my YouTube advert and my YouTube channel, where I'll put more information like this on there, see what I'm doing. And then you guys can just like follow me if you'd like that. So we've got to anchor in back to the engagement, and once you've actually got the audience, what to do with them then. Also taking into note, though I go off on tangents, I always come back. That's how you maintain attention. That's how you so one of the metrics on Facebook is retention. So you will not get retention if you don't come back to the core subject. So then again, this is even the message of this webinar. I keep coming back to the fact that you guys want to increase your conversions on social posts. I keep coming back to these subjects, even though I can go on these tangents. That is what you're here for. That is the core message. That is why, again, messaging is so important. I really, really want to hammer that into you. Okay, so let's talk about, you've got your audience. You're already a messaging wizard. We're just going to assume that. You've already nailed your message down. You've nailed your customer avatar. And now you need to sell. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get a nifty little PDF out, which says my work. Cordelia's going to have an aneurysm because I don't know how to line stuff up very well. So it's not particularly, actually, oh God, Danny might have been on this call the other day. Were you on the call the other day in the Scrap the 9 to 5 group, Danny? No. Oh, good. Because I just basically used this template but reworked it to make it relevant to this webinar. See, I'm telling the same thing again and again and again, but in a different way. So this is a template that I use, which, just so you know, stole from someone else, made it my own. Didn't. I just used someone else's YouTube video and then made it into this. But I think the actual template was someone else's that I stole and then turned it into it. Yeah, just got to steal from people.
Everything's paraphrased.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice quote. Oh, that struck me in the feels. I love that. Everything is paraphrased. No one is original. Don't even try. It's true. Even me. I seem original, but I'm not. I'm just a boring old copywriter. All right. Okay. How do I share? Okay. Should I share this with you, Cordelia?
Can you not share your screen? Just press
the
green share button at the bottom of the Zoom window.
I get really anxious about sharing my screen. I don't even have anything dodgy on there, but I'm always like, what if they see into my product?
As WhatsApp is closed, we should be good.
Not closed. Good call. There we go.
There we
are. Okay. So I have got this actually, and we'll share this. Should I share this out so everyone can just, stop it. No, let's not make this into a big deal. Okay. So this is, okay. So what this, I wonder if I've got it in here as well.
If you put it into the Facebook group, maybe we can email it out with the recording or something so that everybody can get a copy of it.
Okay, I will give that to you. So this title I've pretty much changed 12 times. 8-step formula is the only thing that stays the same, and pretty much all of this writing. But I could say the 8-step party conversation formula, the 8-step ad conversion formula, or the 8-step YouTube advert script formula. You know, like the only this applies to everything. This is just like, oh, is it too? I can see Jules like really leaning in. I'm like, okay, let's make this bigger. Yeah, okay. This applies to anything, and yeah, I'm sorry that's not very well sort of lined up. I'm not very good at this. Okay, so these are the 8 steps you need to follow in order to connect. And if you look at this as well, you could flip it horizontally and have it as if it's that social media strategy I was just talking to you about, the organic strategy. Like you don't introduce the product until the end. So this kind of works as just like a one standalone piece, which works better when you've got the audience. But it also works like if you flip it on its head and just go, okay, so step 1 with my posts, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hook them in. Step 2, I'm going to show them my problem. Step 3, I'm going to rub salt in the wound. Step 4, offer a solution. And again, we'll go through these now. So hook them in. So this says 5 seconds because I was relating it to YouTube, but 5 seconds is probably a good metric to follow by. So grab the attention in the first 5 seconds and prove you have relevant information for their interests. That's it. And it should be relevant to your business somehow as well. That'd be really useful, actually. That should probably definitely go in there. Actually, 100% should go in there. Don't just start talking to them about football if it's got nothing to do with your business, unless you're a bridging wizard like I am and you can sort of bridge the 2 subjects together. But just show them that you get their problem in the first 5 seconds. So one really, really powerful way. Has anyone, this would be great if I can see a post and I can actually say to you how to do this, because there's hi Ray. Yeah, let me get something, a post of yours. Or
he's just dropped it to me on LinkedIn actually. I'll just message it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, perfect. I gave Gavin McLean this piece of advice. I don't know when, but he loves it and he uses it all the time. And I was actually told by my writing mentor to do this, not just for copywriting, but it was a very good principle to apply to copywriting. I've actually got no training in copywriting. I've never really had, I have had jobs as copywriters, but I was a copywriter before I got paid for it, because I've just got good communication skills and good writing skills, and it just translated into this thing. So I never got training for it. I just was fantastic. So the writing principles apply over. If you've got 5 seconds, and this applies, they say the first line of the book, it's got to be so attention grabbing. Use a verb at the beginning of the sentence. So it's a doing word. So run, join, start, begin, play, have, do, unless, you want to make it grammatically proper and everything like that. But starting with a verb at the beginning of the sentence, it's immediately, it's different. Because most sentences, I swear, they definitely start with I, right? Which automatically puts someone in your world, or which automatically disconnects you. You give them a verb, it's telling them something to do. So I didn't actually have you dropped it to me, Cordelia? Is she there? Has she abandoned me?
No, I'm working like a beaver.
Okay.
Right,
okay, so
let me just 1 second. Can I get remote control of your computer? If you press approve.
This is creepy and invasive, but yes.
And then I should just be able to control your screen a minute.
Oh my God, this doesn't do good for my anxiety. Don't you go?
That's not the one. Hang on 1 sec. I'm trying to copy from one computer to another, which doesn't always.
What I also want to do is I want to get another example. Can I open another window?
Yeah, hang on. Let me do this first.
Oh, right. You're using my mouse. Right,
Using
okay.
mouse, babe.
Wow.
Okay, so this is Ray's Instagram account, and this is the post that he wanted to share with you.
Fantastic. All right. You can let go now.
Yeah.
I've got other posts I can share. I can share my screen if it's all set up.
Oh, fantastic.
Your Instagram account is now open on Caroline's computer, so she just clicks on your handle, it goes back to your main.
No worries. And it's the same. It's the same posts that go out on my Facebook, my Twitter, and LinkedIn. It's kind of it's uniform across all 4.
Okay, so maybe I could just go and follow you for a second, but I do like this already. This is a great example. So for instance, just so info at London Oxford Taxis.co.uk. What's your business?
We're basically an airport transfer and a business to business car service.
Business to business car service. Okay, so what are you trying to get at? What are you trying to achieve with this post?
It's just get followers and people who are working from home, because we work with EAs, VAs, PAs, office managers, facilities managers. We work with a wide range of people who are all making decisions. So something like this, working from home, because they're all working from home at the moment. Just a little tip. This is how we do it. Just a suggestion, really. Not trying to sell them anything, like you say, but just keeping our information out there.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to follow.
But this was a total fluke, by the way.
What was the fluke? What was fluky
this whole post, because I was experimenting with different things. If you look at the other posts, it's literally that it's trying to do different things. Put my reviews up.
Right.
I've even put a negative review. Well, a supposedly negative review, which is that black one there. Just because it was funny. It was a fake review made by Jack Daniels. So.
Right. Okay. Right. I'm just going to taxi you. No, that's your job. London, Oxford, taxis. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, there we go. All right. So the purpose of this was to give people working from home a tip. Why? So managing your time and taking necessary breaks before they break you is crucial to a productive day. Why not reach out to us over Zoom with a coffee in hand and tell us how we can help you, if nothing more than a chat or to vent? Coffee rocks. Okay, so what are you trying to get them to do here?
Just engage with us, kind of reach out to us if they're bored, literally just to have a chat. The background to this particular post was I was speaking to a client of ours. She's been a client for 2 years, never really had a proper chat. It was always, I need a car at such and such a time. Please pick up the CEO, end of story.
Okay.
And literally we just had a coffee over a Zoom meeting, one-to-one. And I found out, her son, just before she came on board with us, her son passed away with motor neurone disease. And her husband had a breakdown because, of all the changes in their life. And, he's hospitalized. But I never knew anything about that. Mm-hmm. Literally, it was, she's a chirpy lady. She's upbeat, she's giving us business. Do I need to know anymore? And I'm calling it engage and listen.
Right.
Just because I reach out to them, engage with them, and then I don't try to sell to them. I just listen to them, which is where the chat auto vent came from.
Chats auto vent.
Auto vent, yeah.
Auto vent. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the purpose of the chats and the venting?
It's just to getting to know our customers.
Yeah.
There is an agenda there as well to build that relationship up. Yeah. So they trust us more over our competition, and they're more likely to push business our way. And they can also refer us. So if, for example, if you're seen to like our posts, your network will also say, okay, Caroline's like this post, maybe we can engage here as well.
Right.
So it's just kind of widening our net, really.
So what you would like to achieve is closer relationships with your customer base,
Mm-hmm.
so that they push more business your way.
Yes. So reassure our current base, and look, their network sees us working well with them, and if they
Reassure your current base. That's good. Reassure current. What are you reassuring them of?
that we're helpful, we're supportive, we're not just a flash in the pan, that we're after their money.
Right.
We're a family-run business. We take this personally, and each journey, each customer is a personal relationship.
Okay, that's nice. Okay. Right. So, why is that important to them? Why? You go.
Yeah, because more often than not, the people who are booking the journeys aren't the people who are traveling.
Right.
So they need to trust us that I'll turn up at 4 o'clock in the morning to pick up the CEO, who is likely their boss or their guest, and I'm not going to be 10 minutes late, and their CEO is panicking, and he's waking up the PA early in the morning, saying, where's my car? They need to be confident that we're going to be there, and that they've got a personal connection that if something goes wrong, they can reach out to. And literally, I mean, we've got TripAdvisor reviews. I don't know if you can go on TripAdvisor. We're the only company in both Heathrow and Oxford with a 100% record.
Wow.
We do pay attention to those smaller details.
So I'm just drawing conclusions, basically. The personal relationship that you've got with your clients would suggest to them that you're more reliable.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are entrusting us with one of their most key assets. We go from, for example, with the COVID-19 crisis at the moment, we work with some of the immunologists who are doing the research, and they go from, we're based in Oxford, so the whole university culture, we're going from laboratory to laboratory with these guys. Mm-hmm. We wait outside while they go do their bits and pieces. They jump back in the car. They can open their laptops. We've got 5G connectivity. We've got laptop chargers in the car. Literally, other than using the kind of toilet facilities, everything they could possibly need is in the car.
So the customers you're trying to attract are people who need to book cars for important people.
Yes.
People who book cars for important people.
And for them, those minutes really matter. That's why I try not to make my posts too long.
Okay, that's interesting. Minutes really matter. That's a really good something to lead with, and personal relationships as well. So basically, the things that you value is personal relationships and reliable time management.
Mm-hmm.
And why is this important to them?
Again, just the factor that they don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want, you can imagine a secretary, an office administrator, manager is booking a car for their senior management. And if I don't turn up, I'm not going to get told off. In effect, I'm further down the chain. Mm-hmm. The first person who's going to get a bollocking is basically the person who's booked the car.
Right. So when I said earlier, just so you know, when I said earlier that you've got to tell them what their problem is, that's their problem right there. That's what they already know. That secretary is your customer avatar, and she knows that if she doesn't book a car that's reliable, she's going to get in shit, not you. So that's how you speak to their problem without giving them a solution. You say, I know that this is important, right? That's a problem they already know exists. You don't need to sell anything to them. and then that will specifically speak to that audience. So I would recommend, firstly, that would be your message for every single post that you do, pretty much, unless there's like some other values and stuff. Like, this is just a very quick overview and a very quick sort of insight. But that's a problem you've anticipated in your customer avatar, which I don't see anything relevant in this Instagram post. And it doesn't, like I said earlier, it doesn't always need to be relevant, but what might save you sort of time and also elevate your marketing is if you, with your posts, you focus on telling them stories. So for instance, I love the story where you told me that this woman, you had this personal conversation with this woman, and she told you all this personal information, but at the same time, with now more stuff you've told me, it's not necessarily relevant. You're only going to tell relevant stuff. What's more relevant is the story where the secretary rings you up and says, oh my God, my boss said you were a brilliant service. This was so fantastic. Like, specifically that language. My boss said your service was, because then that's telling them you're booking this service for someone important. So that, I mean, that could be your tagline, to be honest. London, Oxford taxis, for people who book cars for important people. That would be your whole content pitch. And you would only create content for people who book cars for important people, if that's your main audience there. And your values are personal relationships and tight time management. So you would tell stories that relate to the personal relationships and the tight time management that make you the best service for booking for people who book cars for important people. Yeah. So that's how you would build that. Sorry, hello.
Hi. If you scroll down, I've got the other posts up there, and where I've put reviews up.
Yeah.
You know, there's a little comment there. You know, that we're committed to every guest. You know, because we're constantly getting these reviews.
Okay, so a quick thing with this is on Instagram, people don't read paragraphs unless the image engages them. The paragraph is for here.
Yeah.
Or it's for a blog. So what you would want to do, right, so I would say I would get this, like, can you see my mouse, by the way?
Yeah, yeah.
So don't even worry about this fantastic service 100% recommend, because that's not the important bit. To the people who book cars for important people, they've read that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
What they haven't read was, Ray was quick to respond to any questions I had. The fleet arrived to pick up our group very punctually, which totally backs up the fact that your time management and you're quick to respond. So that's more relevant. So yeah, fantastic service, 100% recommend, but that's what everyone puts as their TripAdvisor stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, no one picks out. So this isn't it. That's not necessarily a reliable thing. But you can say, you know, this person said this, but you would specifically, I can't really highlight this, which is annoying, but you would specifically say, the fleet arrived to pick up our group of 20 very punctually, and you would put that in quotes, and you'd have that as a post, and then you'd have like a little card, or you'd get a picture with them. Maybe you can't actually get a picture with them, but if you can, whatever. Or it depends if discretion is one of the things you prioritize. If it is, then don't do that. And don't be like discreet sometimes and not the other. Pick one. Be discreet or don't discreet. So with that, I would say Ray was quick to respond to any questions as one. Just one top. That's one subject there. That's Ray was quick to respond to any questions I had.
I've got a great way to make this visually appealing as well.
Fantastic.
Can I just quickly show you something? Can I grab Can I grab your mouse again?
My mouse, yeah. Give it a go.
Saucy, doesn't it? Can I grab your mouse?
Grab my mouse, yeah.
Go on then. If you press approve. So I've got like...
We're invading each other's boundaries in new and meaningful ways every day.
I know, we are, aren't we? I've got this, I've got loads of like awesome reviews from the Rebellious Business Network, right? And I've been creating little Instagram posts to send them out. Let's see if I can open them.
While you do this, can I have a little girls break?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you. Sorry.
Absolutely. So here's an example of how to make a review a little bit more appealing, right? So over on Canva, let's take Sally's, for instance, because it's nice and short. So she's just written a sentence about why the Rebellious Network is so awesome and why you should come and join us. And then she's let me use her photo. Now, you could just use a photo, like you could use a photo of just a stock image, or you could have like a silhouette, for instance, if you're keeping it anonymous, right? But what's really cool about Canva is you've got all of these, you can create this for like in a few seconds for nothing, like costs nothing to create this. And it just makes it a bit more visually appealing because it looks less spammy. I think the problem with this, from a design perspective, from a visually appealing perspective, the problem with this is very text heavy and it's not very easy on the eye. And that makes it look a bit busy, and busy stuff looks spammy, right? Because we associate like very busy websites with like spamminess, because there's just stuff everywhere, there's ads everywhere, it's like an overload of stuff and guff. So just to sort of clean it up, Ray, I recommend like getting a Canva account. It's free to sign up. I'm going to do a training on Canva and put it into the Facebook group soon, just for anybody that doesn't know how to use it. But you can just grab like an image of a quote, an image of something from pexels.com or unsplash.com, which are free image galleries. What's it called? Like a copyright free image.
Stock image people.
Stock image, yes, that's the one. And just create something like this, and that would look just a lot more fresh on your feed.
Yeah, I understand.
And then you can also, I mean, like if I just, this is like a lineup of stuff that I've been creating. These are some old ones that I haven't ever posted, of just like, you know, using color and image to just kind of make it look a bit cleaner and a bit more enticing. Caroline back, here she is.
Hi. Yeah, I need you to help me make some of these.
Okay, I will give you your mouse back.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. Love it. This is great. All right. Okay. So, in relationships, so this is where, again, as I said earlier, it's so important to get your message down, because the message isn't clear on this. But if you just lead with the fact that the most important thing for your clients is time management and personal relationships, then that's what you'd work on. And I appreciate the gesture that you're reaching out and speaking to people. And it might, I don't really know how that works with your business strategy, but for me, it seems, well, it's definitely going the extra mile, but it's not necessary to a certain extent. And if it is, you'd want to create a whole campaign around that. So it'd be like a, so if you're talking to, again, the people you're talking to are the people who book cars for important people. So you would want to turn it into a, make sure you know who you're booking campaign. Have a quick chat with us and get to know our team. So you know that we're trustworthy enough to look after your most important assets. So you make it relevant to them to have that conversation with you, because otherwise it's a counselling service. So that's why I was a bit confused. I was like, is this like a sort of like goodwill program that you're providing? This like check-in and chat, and it's lovely, but it, you know, there's at the moment the NHS are doing these like volunteer calls and stuff like that, and it could kind of fall under that category. So it's a bit confusing as to the purpose of it. And the people who are booking cars for important people don't really feel like they need that, and if they do, they don't feel like they need that for their boss. They feel like, okay, I could do with talking to someone. So I would create a whole campaign around that and say, know who your assets are dealing with, or know who your assets are in transit with. But a way to, one really, really powerful way, like I said before, with this social media strategy thing at the top, if you if you could think about, so right, the things that your social media posts, like this is like, okay, got them there 5 minutes early. If someone gets me there 5 minutes early every single time, it's unbelievable. How does he do this? That's a post. And then you write, oh, one of the brilliant reviews says this, that, the other. We're so glad that we're able to uphold this amazing standard. Da 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 da. The story part, you know, your Instagram stories here, where you'd click this bit here, that's where you can start to talk more about you as a person. And this is where I was talking about before. If the person is booking something for you, you would have stories of yourself in these in these really like sort of nice, sort of wholesome or professional sort of ways. Obviously you're at home, and that creates a good story. It's like still keeping it, I don't know, VIP, not VIP, but whatever, still keeping it luxury even when I'm at home. You know, you show someone how you organize all your toiletries in a certain way. That kind of demonstrates as a person you're very considerate about the details. So as a person, you insist on carpet cleaning your house all the time. You're showing them that you're clean. You're like and like you have a daily practice where every single day at X time you do this. So your stories would demonstrate your character, which is the business. So your character wouldn't be someone like mine, because they're never going to trust me with their important people. I'm going to put anyone in a car with me. I had an Instagram story the other day where I drove through my sister's wall. Never going to, you know.
I was just about to say you're akin to me, but that driving just I'll hold that back now.
yeah. What my post demonstrated was that I'm funny. I'm a bit kooky. Like, you know, lockdown is sending us crazy, like, you know, those sort of things that makes me more personable. But it doesn't make me at all reliable with someone important. So you'd create stories that demonstrates your values in these sort of creative ways. So if you know, reliability, you create stories that show you're reliable. If it's attention to detail, you create stories that show attention to detail. It doesn't have anything to do with the business, because they don't want to be promoted to all the time. That's the relationship build of things. As far as the posts, it doesn't have to be promotion heavy. Like I said, it needs to be telling them what they already know. So you're telling them stories about, so maybe call your clients, call your customers and say, why did you switch to us? What horror stories did you have before? And they'll tell you, like, oh, there's you know, when I've tried to book Uber before, you know, sometimes they go around the block and I'm just watching this bloody line that goes around the block. Everyone knows that as well. Like you tell them the problem they already know in the posts. And then now we're going to go on to, so does that make sense? Does this help you ground things a little bit?
It does, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because to be honest, I mean, I was rarely using social media up until very recently. You know, might put a post up once every 3 months.
Yeah.
Just to keep my account going. But just recently, I mean, I've got these little, you know, working from home tips. I'm just using these hashtags, and I'm still learning about hashtags as well, and how best to kind of use them. So working from home tips, great reviews, you know, all our drivers are big coffee drinkers, and you know. that
makes sense. I would say that the working from home tips doesn't make sense with your audience. I know that they are probably working from home, but it might just, it doesn't make sense to me, but it might do. I don't know how well that's performing. What I would say is, why is it more, what I would tap into now is, why is it more important now, given the change of the world, that people use your service? Oh, you talked about the immunizing thing and the hospital visits, right? Yeah. That is something you want to tap into. Why now? Yeah. And then you talk about how coronavirus has meant that people, because your business has obviously changed, it would have changed from this, I presume.
Yeah, so basically, you know, the practices that we have now I mean, we're not working at the moment just because you know there's no
Yeah.
face-to-face meetings, etc.
Right.
So what we're doing now is, or planning to, is we've ordered a bucket load of wipes,
Right.
and everything inside with all the contact points that a person may touch are wiped down. And we're just testing these because they're all leather fitted.
That is something you need to put on your Instagram, because hygiene is a top priority for people right now, especially for their most important people. So you do pictures of you cleaning your car. You create stories about look at this thing we've just ordered, to make sure that you are safe. So that has got to be a top priority. How has coronavirus changed your business, and how has coronavirus changed your customers' world? I don't want to get in attack. I'm even like, can I order stuff from Amazon? Like, it's like, yeah, okay, I can't leave my house, but what's the point if it's going to get delivered to me? Like, I may as well go around licking people if I'm just going to get it through the post. Like, so you have to put those are things that people will have in their heads, right? So you've got to reassure them it's safe to drive with me. It's safe to put your most important people with us. With this coronavirus thing, how do you know which service to trust, which service is hygienic? That is the most important thing for people right now. And obviously the
powerful, so powerful that.
Sorry, I'm taking up everyone's time. I'll let someone else jump in.
The principles are relevant here. Use coronavirus. This is the biggest thing going on in the world right now. It's huge. And use all world events that impact your audience. So for instance, if we had the World Cup, surely your business changes around those world events, and the people that need your business change. You create posts that are relevant always.
I'm just going to stop your sharing a sec so we can see everyone.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and turn. Well, I'm going to go through the 8-step formula again, and I'm going to try and apply some of the principles to the conversation we just had.
Awesome.
How's everyone doing? Does anyone want a break? Everyone want to go ploughing ahead? I mean, I'm not one for steam, but I'm happy to keep going. Great. Okay, everyone's in raptures. Great.
So we've got about half an hour. We've got about half an hour left. And
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we want 10 minutes. So we'll go through the ad script in 15 minutes. Then we'll have a Q&A. Okay. So no, I'm not sharing anymore. Just reading my screen willy-nilly without you. Let me share. Okay. So hook them in, grab the attention in the first 5 seconds, prove you have relevant. So step 1, hook them in. Think 5 seconds and start the sentence with verb. Okay, obviously that's not a hard and fast rule. There's no such thing as a hard and fast rule. Even this structure can be flipped on its head in various different creative ways. But, you know, when you're on your training wheels, just stick to the program. Okay, just go creative afterwards. But just so don't take this completely literal. Obviously there's creative free reign in everything. But start with a verb. Try and start all your sentences with verbs. First, it's challenging. Secondly, it's more powerful. So hook them in, grab the attention in the first 5 seconds, prove you have relevant information for their interests that is also relatable to your business. Step 2, show them their problem. Just like we, one sec. Just like we said with where's this thing? Right, so the secretary is going to get in shit if she books a car that's not useful or doesn't provide a high service. She's the one that's her problem. That's your customer avatar's problem. So Ray, you would say, so grab their attention in the first 5 seconds, prove you have relevant information. Get your most important people where they need to go in the most hygienic and efficient way possible. So that starts with a verb. That's a service that you can provide. It's relevant and it's, you know, get them where they need to be. That's even better. Get the important people where they need to be in a hygienic's not really a great word in that context, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you know,
sanitize. That's what
sanitize. There you go. Sanitized and efficient. Sanitized and efficient. That's what you should be like. That's what you should be drilling into everyone. You're sanitized and you're efficient. problem, you know that it's on your head. And let's, how do we start with that with a verb? Oh, I can't, I don't have that in me right now. Oh, I have to reorganize that. But you know, it's on your head if your CEO or if your immunization officer gets to their lab 5 minutes late, and it's not a risk you should be taking. You're going to have a terrible day if you do that. What are the implications of them doing that? What's the implication of them getting, like, you know, oh, is it your boss won't trust you again? Like, he's not going to trust you for that. You're, you know, you've got another task to add to your list of already long list of things to do because you have to find yourself a reliable courier or taxi company. You know, what happens if that problem happens? What's the implications on their life? Like, this is what's going to happen to your life. Everything's going to crumble. World's awful. Your job's gone. It's probably not that big a deal, but they don't want to feel responsible and in the doghouse. No one likes that. Offer a solution. The solution is not the business. Remember, a solution is the opposite of what their problem is. It's not the product, it's what the product helps them achieve. So the solution is, what you need is a form of transportation, because they don't need a car, they don't need a cab, because if they could fly, they'd do it. So, but you know, they can't do that. So you say a form of transportation that helps you get the most important people where they need to be on time. And in this climate, sanitized, in a sanitized, safe environment as well. So I'd have that as a bolt-on rather than an actual like leading thing. And I might put that in tangible benefits as well. Then you say, that's what we provide at London Oxford Taxis. We provide a service that is extremely reliable, extremely fast responding, very personable, where we put efficiency and personal maybe not even personal relationships. I don't necessarily think personal relationships is the priority at this time, especially you said people getting in the back of the laptops, tapping away. What they want is just like zone out, work on the problem at hand, get there and back. So maybe personal relationships isn't even that big a deal right now. But the thing you provide is the efficient, you get from A to B when you need to get there. And we sanitize everything. Then you demonstrate the tangible benefits. So, for instance, what tech can you book through an app? Do you ring in? Do you? And this is hypothetical. You don't need to answer this. You know the answers to this. But the tangible benefits are the fact that you've got leather seats which are easy to wipe down and sanitize, which means that during the coronavirus outbreak, they're as safe as they could possibly, the safest form of transport they could possibly have in regards to contamination. It's obviously comfortable. You have a Waze app, which means that you can bypass the traffic. You know, these things that enable the technical aspects of your service that enable you to provide the high quality service, because they don't care about your leather seats. They don't care about they do care about the sanitized, but they don't, you know, that's not what's going to sell them. It's why those things are important, which is the health aspects and the efficiency and the importance of getting people there. Call to action. So provide clear and concise instructions as to how they can access this. That's terribly written. Provide clear and concise instructions as to how they can access, this business, product or service. Get rid of that. Just pretend that's not there. Objective, clear, directional overlays are great. Again, verbs are pretty good. Click here if you want to learn more. Click this link and follow me now. Head over to my Facebook page. Call this number now. Share this with a friend. Like this post. Give me a comment below saying whatever you want. Give them clear, concise directions. Like, don't be afraid to tell them. You tell them what you need them to do. And then social proof. That's where reviews, testimonials. So with this London Oxford Taxis, this backs up like the stuff. And also, like I said, only pick out a few words that promote the point that you're efficient and reliable. That's it. Like proficient, reliable, and sanitized. Those are like just everything around that. And share, share some reviews that back that up. That is and this can apply. So again, you flip this on its side, and it's a long-term strategy, sort of. Yeah, it can be, because you can make a post out of each of these things. But yeah, as an advert, as a social media post, as a conversation, as a webinar, this is what you do. So this, for instance, is what I'm sharing now. Is the tangible benefits of, say, working with me as a coach. I've already told you the strategy. I've already told you the problem. I've already told you the solution. I've already told you this. Now I'm saying, look, this is what you get if you work with me. I give you step-by-step instructions on how you can write a compelling social media post. See how the whole structure of this conversation follows the same format. Like I might not have done a very good hook at the beginning, but it's the general principles. So that's everything. So I think Cordelia is going to share this with you. I did write, if anyone is in SFM, I wrote a really, really, really basic post. Maybe it's not actually a post, maybe it's an advert. Okay, yeah. I wrote a very basic post as if you're advertising SFM. So literally, this is how basic it can be if you use each of these steps. Hook them in. So life priorities have completely changed. Our health, spending time with our loved ones in times of need, our job security is at risk. You considered starting an online business, or maybe you've already tried it, but you're so comfortable and secure it wasn't a top priority. Learn the skills to start an online business now, when it's more important than ever. Bad grammar. Access the on-demand workshop that will help you learn the skills you need to start an online business. Step-by-step instructions led by an expert, ideas to get you started, further workshops to go deeper into the principles for free. Receive these workshops to your inbox immediately by clicking the link right here and entering your name and email address on the next page. Check your spam in case it ends up in there too. I've encountered people just starting out who've made multiple six-figure incomes from their online business using this training. If you want to see the testimonials, you can email me or find them on the next page. I sometimes refer people to testimonials because I'm really lazy. And then I create a little worksheet for you guys to fill it in, and so it doesn't have to be, and each of these things can be a whole paragraph. Each of these things can be a chapter. Each of these things, these are all elements that add up to the whole point of advertising is that you're constructing a compelling argument. That's it. So that's all you need to learn. And these are the elements you need. Any questions? This was intense. What? Crickets?
We've had a couple of other social media posts been shared with us. I don't think we're going to have time to look at them today. If anybody wants to jump on with me for a one-to-one because they're struggling with social media, I've just set up to have a call with one of you. If anybody else wants to have a call, feel free, because my calendar is open. I'll just drop my link in here. And we've also got Caroline joined us as our Rebellious content coach at Rebellious Business as well. So I'm sure Caroline will be coming back to the network at some point soon too, I hope. Haven't even cleared this with her first before I'm dropping her in it. Maybe she didn't like it. Yeah. No, not hanging out with these guys again. But I doubt it. I'm sure you'll be back, won't you, Caroline?
Yeah. I just got to talk, just listen to the sound of my voice for like an hour and a half. This is great.
Love it.
Heaven.
Has anybody got any questions? Anything that you want to ask Caroline about about posting, about CTAs, about like what does it mean if this happens, or what does it mean if I'm not getting this? Any like little technical questions or questions around what she's just shared?
You've covered everything.
I think you have. The 8-step formula is going to go into the Facebook group.
Oh, no, you keep going.
What?
I was like, follow me. Follow me on YouTube.
I thought you said fire you. I was like, follow me. I'll drop your YouTube channel into the chat again. If any, like Caroline's got over 1,000 followers on YouTube. Her videos You think she's awesome, bloody.
No, they're not that great at the moment. I'm
But,
going to be making them
you
better.
are fantastic on video, actually, and it's not for you to decide whether
Right.
your video is good or not. Don't be.
Well, they're going to get better.
Yeah, we're always a work in progress. Yeah, we should actually. What I might do is we should all follow each other on socials. I'll put a post into the RB Network Facebook group where you can all put your Instagram handles, and we'll do one for different platforms rather than it all just being in one. And we'll get following each other. If you haven't jumped into the Facebook group yet, come and join the party. I'll pop the link to that in here again. And any questions for Caroline before I go on to the next thing? No? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
I was getting a round of applause instead. I'm happy with that.
Caroline, thank you so much. Hands up if that was bloody useful. Seriously, awesome. Thank you so much, Caroline. Really, really good. Okay, so what I wanted to say was that, let me just have a look what I wanted to say, because I have got it written here. Oh yeah, so next week, I'm going to walk you guys to we've got something slightly different happening next week. We haven't got a spotlight speaker next week. We've just got a couple of things happening, but I think it's going to be really, really helpful for you guys. So who here wants to or is already jumping on calls with prospects? Hands up if you are getting on the phone with your prospects. And if you're not, do you think that getting on the phone with your prospects, have a chat, even just to find out a bit more about what they need, who they are, and that kind of thing would be useful? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I have a system that I have set up, like a call booking system that takes out so much of the time and the stress of getting people on the phone. It's really, really effective. And I'm going to share it with you next week on the call. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing next week. So next week, we're going to do half an hour of that. It's not going to take me very long to show that. We don't need a full spotlight speaker slot for me to just show you how to get set up with that. So I'm going to walk you through that next week, quick half an hour to go through that and also answer any of your questions on that as well. Then what we're going to do is we are introducing breakout rooms. I'm excited about this. I've been kind of like, do we do this or not? Because I didn't just want to throw you guys into awkward conversations of like, hey, I'm Cordelia. Oh, hi, what do you do? And it's just sometimes can be a little bit awkward and annoying. I've been to networking groups where they do that, where they're like, you have to like basically pick a business card out of a pot and that's who you're having a meeting with. And you just sit there for 10 minutes and it's like really kind of awkward. And I didn't really want to introduce that concept. However, this has becoming quite an awesome little community. And what I think would be great, because I know that you guys have been jumping on one-to-ones outside of the RB network. I've heard this and it's so, so awesome. And also like, you know, we're getting to know each other. And what I think would be fantastic is if we use breakout rooms for 2 one-to-one sessions next week. So we do half an hour of setting up that call system and half an hour of one-to-ones. I'm going to ask you at the beginning of the call, just as we're getting started, to drop a name to me privately, will be anonymous, to drop a name in the chat of like who you would like to have get to know a bit further or have a one-to-one with, and we'll split you up into breakout rooms. I've never used breakout rooms before. Hopefully it will work. I will have a practice. I'll try and get some friends on Zoom and have a practice, but I'll put into breakout rooms and you'll just go off and have like little one-to-one conversations. Awesome opportunity to get to know each other. Awesome opportunity to get to know each other's businesses a bit better. You know, even if you're not a good fit for each other's businesses and you don't want to hire each other as clients, that's not what this is about. It's about like increasing and improving your connections outside of the SFM or outside of the masterminds or whatever community that you are normally a part of, to just meet some other business owners. Because it may well be, let's say that you jump on, let's say that Danny jumps on a call with Smita, and it may well be that actually Danny knows loads of people that really need some graphic design help, and now he understands Smita's business and he knows who Smita is, and it's just a case of referring someone. So it's just so good to just be loud and get out there and people know what you're doing, who you are, you know, if nobody can see you, if nobody knows that you're there, no one's going to contact you. As simple as that. So we're going to introduce this next week, breakout rooms. Anybody like not loving the idea of breakout rooms? Anybody really loving the idea of breakout rooms? Yeah, good. We happy about the breakout rooms? Yes, cool. It's just a way of like, I want this to be a networking group. I don't just want it to be a webinar. I want us to like talk to each other. But the 40-minute spotlight showcase business, whatever it was called at the beginning, was not really giving us that. And so hopefully this will, which is awesome. Also, Facebook group. Again, I'm obsessed with the Facebook group. I know, but pop your video in there. You've got until next Wednesday to get your video showcasing your business into the Facebook group. You know, also make it easy. After next week's session as well, you're going to have a whole system set up that's going to make it really easy for someone to jump on a one-to-one with you. If you say something like, head over to my website where you'll find my contact page, where you can find a thing, it just makes it complicated. Drop your telephone number or drop a link to your calendar. Just remove some steps, make it so simple for people to get in touch with you without it being, you know, unnecessarily complicated. If we make people work for stuff, they don't do it. People are lazy, including me. What else? I'm looking over there. There's nothing over there for me to look at. I think that is it. I think that is it. I think that is a wrap. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much, Caroline, for your incredible talk today. It was really, really good, and really appreciate you for it. Thank you. Thanks to our new guys for coming and joining us today. Thank you for the like rebellious, loyal ones who are here every single week. So good to see you guys. And as per usual, I'm going to just stick on the music and leave as you need to go. So good to see you guys. Lots and lots of love. Mwah! Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. That ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. Bye guys, lots of love. Have a great day.